Giving Tuesday is a global effort that encourages people to do good.
Go to loveshriners.org.
This year, please support Shriners Children.
Go to loveshriners.org. Thank you.
You're commuting home with Katz and Cosby. Now, here's John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby on 77 WABC. Breaking news, WABC.
And some breaking news here on Katz and Cosby, guys. Of course, it's tied to the Trump nominations. There's been a lot of them. And now the Florida sheriff, this is Hillsborough County Sheriff Chad Chronister, has withdrawn his name as the nominee to lead the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Administration, saying it was an honor of a lifetime, but he has more work to do in Florida. And as we get details, we'll keep you posted on that. By the way, he was appointed by then Florida Governor Rick Scott to head the sheriff's office and started there in 2017, reelected twice. No word exactly what caused him to withdraw, but now there will be obviously another nominee for DEA, which is a big position, especially with fentanyl and everything else going on in the country. Well, joining us now is Brigadier General Blaine Holt, who is military advisor also to NATO, also C-17 commander, and a great military warrior. And we're thrilled to have you here, General Holt. Let's take it away. First of all, there's so much going on here in South Korea. At one point, they said there's going to be martial law. Then the parliament overrode it. Then it went back to the president. What's going on? Because they said there may be some infiltration by North Korea. This is really scary stuff.
It's so good to be with you guys. And I'll tell you what, I did not have Syria, South Korea, and France on my bingo card today, but you needed to.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't it wild? I know. So how concerned should we be? And especially given all the dynamics with China and the fact Biden's still here for until the 20th of January.
Yeah, we need to be very concerned because now this has happened in Korean politics, South Korean politics before. But we're talking about a president who was in very weak shape with the electorate, 32% approval rating, President Yoon, and the economy is in shambles. And so you have a parliament that had been openly investigating him for scandals and 22 members of his cabinet, and looking for impeachments. Well, they were 10 seats shy of the required number to impeach, and then he issued a martial law. So we don't, behind the backdrop, could there be North Korean influence in all of this stuff? Absolutely, because their democracy is vulnerable right now for the reasons I just stated. So if North Korea is heavily involved from an intel persuasion campaign, information campaign, then what we have to look at is, well, what's the next shoe to drop? Right now, I have heard that President Yoon is lifting the martial law, so he is now going to respect the wishes of the parliament and the military will go back. But talk about a big period of awkward as the South Koreans go ahead and sort themselves out.
And Syria, there's a lot of stuff there with the rebels coming in and trying to topple Bashar Assad.
I could make a lot of money just putting together a dance card about who is against who in that conflict. You've got Turkey that came in with their terror group, a proxy that is the original Al-Qaeda that went to go sack Aleppo and pretty much did. Then you've got members of ISIS with them. Now on the other side of this, you've got the United States with the Kurds that they have trained. We've got those bases out in eastern Syria. You've got members of Hezbollah that have left their part of the battlefield. You've got Russians that are bombing the Al-Qaeda terrorists in Aleppo. The Assad regime says it's got southern Syria pretty much buttoned down. That does seem to be the case. But we've got very interesting bedfellows. Not everybody is on everybody's side once you leave the country of Syria. So this is very dangerous, and it's an escalation in the region, and it's the outcome of mopping up these proxies that Iran has presided over. Hezbollah is going away, Hamas and the Houthis are going away, so you're seeing power vacuums, and Erdogan from Turkey looks like he's the first one to fill the space.
Yes, General, we have a report now that the U.S. Navy thwarts a Houthi attack in the Red Sea on December 3rd today. Is the Navy or the armed forces acting differently than they would 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago?
No, they're still on the same rules of engagement. This is what is infuriating for me, is that on the world stage, the United States Navy is swapping missiles with the Houthis, making it look like they're peers going at each other. That is absolutely ridiculous. What we don't have is a strategy and a rules of engagement scheme for all our commanders, from Conoco base in Syria all the way down to the decks of those destroyers, where a decisive American air campaign can neutralize the Houthis. And that's what needs to. That's why they're so open to talking with Trump, because they respect that man's strength as he's coming on, because he knows he's going to turn the military commanders loose and they're just going to go take care of business. Right now, they're fighting with one arm.
God bless America. I mean, in how many generals has he appointed so far? Is Kellogg the only one?
Yeah, Kellogg, and then I think there's probably some generals going to some lower positions. But Kellogg, Keith is the lead general out there. I really like how he has formulated some of this team. I was in West Palm Beach a couple of weeks ago. I got to talk to some members. This is a very, very different Trump team. He's not looking to appease the uniparty or the establishment Republicans. He's going in with a mission perspective, and he knows that the swamp is in his sights.
Understood. What else do you want to tell the American people? On a Tuesday. Well, we only got 3 weeks to Christmas.
Well, let's all have a very Merry Christmas. Let's have a Happy Hanukkah, and let's look after our families. But we can't ignore the threats we face right here at home. All of those fighting-age men that were let into our southern border representing terror cells, the PLA and everything else, they're here. And it's going to be a rough run to get to Inauguration Day. But if we'll stay resilient, we'll keep our heads on a swivel, see something, say something, look after each other, we're all going to have a merry holiday season, and then we're going to look forward to a great Inauguration Day.
Well, thank you, General Holt. You have another question, Rita?
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Ukraine and Russia, too. What's the latest with that?
Yeah, so the recent Biden policy.
As if the world isn't in enough turmoil, isn't it wild? It's like, today.
This is where World War III the fuse could get lit, because we are letting these weapons now go into Russia with very little restriction, and landmines are on the way. So we're basically in an escalation mode. The Russians have proven that they've got new weapons to show off, and they have promised us that more are on the way. They're cutting data cables. They're doing fifth-generation attacks. All of this bodes very poorly for stability, and Biden had promised President Trump a smooth transition. So I don't know what a rough transition would look like. On the other side of that, if we can just survive to get to a demilitarized strategy, there are certainly levers we can exploit with Russia, and we can put this thing back to a better place.
Absolutely. Well, keep us posted, General Holt. There are so many, sadly, hot spots around the globe. And just like you said, what a mess that Trump is inheriting.
And thank you for everything you've done for our country already. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you both. Pleasure to be with you.
Thank you.
Roger Stone here with an urgent warning. While we celebrate Trump's historic win, inflation continues to drain your IRA and 401k. And China is now targeting your money with a kill shot on the U.S. dollar. That's why thousands of Americans are shielding their savings with gold and contacting the experts at Colonial Metals Group. Gold has protected American wealth through every financial war. For a free 2024 gold guide that explains everything, go to freegoldguide.com/stone or call 800-747-6589. So go to freegoldguide.com/stone or call 800-747-6589. That's 800-747-6589 for a free 2024 gold guide to learn how you can protect your life's work, and if you qualify for a free home safe and up to $7,500 in free silver right now. That's freegoldguide.com/stone.